Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. Well, here I am in sunny Belgium on the countryside back home. It's quite a change from the little rat hole where we live in Hong Kong. And just before coming, I ordered this gorgeous Seiko from, again, Creation Watches in Singapore. They DHL overnight to Hong Kong. And it took me months to decide to have this watch, but as you know, once your mind is made up, you want to get it as soon as possible. So I can't recommend enough Creation Watches for their great service, and the watch is perfect alignment. And you must have seen many reviews of this SNZH watch. This is the J version. This is the 55, which I think is the most appropriate reference to get, the 55J1. So it's the one made in Japan. You can get the one made in Kuala Lumpur or Malaysia, at least, the K1 version as well. But this one was actually one of the cheapest on eBay. It's around 130 bucks, maybe 150. And with Creation Watches, you get a free delivery. I'm not sponsored at all. Never had a discount from them, but they get the best prices on eBay anyway. Well, anyway, this watch obviously is inspired by the Blancpain 50 Fathom, which was the original diver's watch, and it created a whole new world. If you're new to watches, you might think that divers are a thing that always existed, but until Blancpain and then Rolex and Omega came on the market, there was nothing made for diving. And Jean-Jacques Cousteau and all these explorers needed tools to go underwater at large depths. And so if you are familiar with the Blancpain 50 Fathoms, you'll notice that the case is very similar, and the polishing here is like a mirror. So what you get for under 150 bucks is quite amazing. As usual, it is as it is with a Seiko and a Seiko 5. And I've seen mostly reviews of the blue and the black one with the gold accents. So I wanted to get something different, and I went for maybe the least popular model, this one with the black and white colors. But I think at the end of the day, this is the one to get. And it looks fantastic. Look at this cool bezel, the domed hardlex, giving a real vintage vibe to the watch. I think there is hardlex actually on the bezel itself. There is no crown guard, vintage style, and the crown is not screwed in, so it's not a proper real diver. If you want a real diver, you should get the Seiko SKX, the classic. But this still keeps 100 meters of water resistance, which is more than enough for splashing around and even snorkeling. And at least you can wash the watch underwater on a sweaty day. It's a beautiful day here in Belgium, and I've been walking around. The watch is fairly heavy. It's still comfortable. I think the bracelet, which doesn't taper much, which is something I like, provides a good balance to it. And the bracelet looks good. You see those, it's an oyster style bracelet, but with some polished details between the links. Very interesting. And the usual folding clasp. Everything works great. It's slightly jingly, but for the price, I think you can't ask for more. You really can't complain here. It works great with the watch, and I don't really feel like removing it. The end links are not solid, always a bit difficult to remove, so I would advise you to just stick to this cool bracelet and enjoy the watch, although it would look great on a black rubber, for example. And you have a day and a date, so great complications for this watch. Today is Sunday, so the date is in red. And I like that on this version, the day and date are on a black background with a nice frame around it. It works great with the rest of the dial. While the blue version which looks good. Has the background of the date in white, so it does stand out a bit too much for my taste. It was one of the reasons why I preferred this version. And I've already bought recently another Seiko 5 with the gold accent. So to me, this was the color to get this time, and it's going to be a classic. As you can see, the size is just perfect for my 17 centimeters wrist. That's a 6 3/4 inch, I believe. It's ideal, not too big, not too small. I don't even know the dimensions of the watch. I guess it's 40, maybe 42 millimeters. But because the bezel is very large, the dial itself makes the watch looks a bit smaller than it is. Now, looking at the dial, I really love those hands, and even the hour markers have great depth, and it makes you wonder why they put such ugly ones on the new Prospects releases, and why they can put beautiful hands with a lot of Lumibright on them, and very decent hour markers on their entry-level watch. I'm not quite sure I follow exactly what's going on with the design departments of Seiko. And what I like on this model here too is that the minute tracks are on the dial, so you have a nice clean rehaut, or I should say in French, rehaut. I don't know. the rehaut, that wall around the dial is nice and clean, and it gives another element of depth to the dial. You have the applied Seiko 5 logo, and the rest is printed. Not too much information, just enough. So you have a great balance on the dial. It's very interesting. These watches are being modded by Seiko fans to look more like the Blancpain, but I think that's going too far. I mean, this gives the vibe of it without being 100% homage of it. I don't see. I mean, I understand why people would want to have the Seiko 55 Phantoms as it's been baptized, but look at this. Why would you change anything to it? Got a great hands, great dial. Everything works perfectly to me on this watch. So anything negative I see to it? Not really. There's not too much polished surfaces. It weighs as much as it looks, but it's not surprisingly heavy. And I waited so many months to buy it. I was intrigued by it as soon as I saw some videos about the watch online. And I don't know why I always felt that it was going to be a bit of a cheap sort of knockoff kind of watch. And when I opened the box, I was absolutely stunned. There is so much depth, dimension. Everything looks a lot more expensive than it is. I mean, when you think that this is 1/100th of the price of the Blancpain, this is just unbelievable, right? Well, what you get a cool watch, it's going to work forever. And if you ever have a problem with the 7S26 movement, you can just drop another one. No problem. Actually, maybe it's the 7S36. I'm getting mixed up now. Well, this movement can't be hacked. You can't even force the second hand to stop. On the SKX, you can turn back. A bit of the background here. A lot of wind in the beautiful trees. Yeah, on the SKX you can turn back the crown in the wrong direction and actually sort of hack the seconds. But on this one, it doesn't work like that, bizarrely. And you can't hand wind it, so you just have to shake the watch and off you go. But again, Seiko has those great rotors and the systems behind to make those watches wind pretty quickly. So yeah, there you go. Let me know what you think about the watch. I can really recommend it. So this is the SNZH 55J1. That's the Japanese version. You can get the K1 version, which is the one made in Malaysia. For the difference, it's such little money. Just get the Japanese one. It's always a bit of an extra. And color-wise, as I said, I don't like the white window for the date on the blue version. And if you don't have one with the gold accents, yeah, I guess you could go for the one with the gold accents. But this white version, black and white version, to me it looks the part. I feel I'm really happy with it. And this comes from someone who wears a Rolex or an Omega on other days of the week. And I truly enjoy the watch here. It has so much depth to it, a lot of fun to wear. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I think you should get one if you don't have one of those entry-level Seikos. This one punches way above its weight, way above. Really good looking watch. The bezel action is very good, very pleasant. Not too much play in it. You can grab it from all sides. I enjoy the bracelet. To me, it's comfortable. It doesn't taper too much, and I think that works great with the style of the watch. It jingles a little bit, not too much, but yeah, again, it's all relative to the price, For what you pay, it's crazy what you get with Seiko. You have the usual clasp, which is very safe, clicks in great. The crown is not signed. Everything is kept clean. Nice polished sides, down to a mirror, as you can see. It would have been cheeky if they had put the Seiko name on the side, just as Blancpain puts the Blancpain marquee on the side of the watch. Would have been a real hood, and I think some guys might have it engraved just for the sake of it. And again, Seiko does it. I really enjoy the hands on this watch. I wish they were on more expensive Prospex watches. Alright guys, I leave you there. I'm always very positive about the watches. I guess I think about them so long before I buy them that usually I'm not displeased by any of them. But I really can't see anything wrong with this watch. Everything looks fantastic. So again, great bargain from Seiko. Go get yours now. Bye bye.